We have added like probably 20% or 25% of new side quest content, and we also expand the original quest with new options. The game is way bigger.
We know the story is beloved by fans, but they also know that there are parts of the story that they are not so good at other parts. All the essence in the parts that they are memorable, and we are also trying to improve the plot holes or the parts where we feel the people from the original game doesn't get enough time to finish it.
Thankfully, we had Mattias, who was also part of the original Gothic games, who brought in like this extra set of like experience and knowledge with the Gothic series.
So when I get the chance to start working, obviously there were many things I wanted to change, some mistakes, especially in the writing, like the 12-13 mage thing. I was very happy because it's not often in life that you get a second chance.
We kind of like had all certain like angles of what we wanted to change, what we wanted to fix, what we wanted to further expand on. It's not like a version that is like, okay, this is my perfect version of Gothic. Through this discussion process, we also challenged ourselves to come up with even better ideas, find problems with solutions that initially felt so good to do.
We have added like probably 20% or 25% of new side quest content, and we also expand the original quest with new options. So yeah, talking about the narrative, the game is way bigger.
When creating our orcs, we were trying to find the balance within this stereotypical creature with green skin and that you can easily recognize in a lot of places to a more grounded, unbelievable version. Have in mind that when talking about orcs, you have to think about the big picture. I mean, the orcs, actually in Gothic 3, they are an evolved society somehow. But the orcs that we have in Gothic 1, they're just a warforce.
The orcs in the Valley of Mines and on the island of Korinis, they serve a very specific purpose. There is a certain like population of orcs that were always involved here. And maybe it predated even the existence of humans, right? But that's something like we don't want to lean in because it's a very philosophical question, actually. So there is like these Templars and shamans that are dealing with that. But what are the others doing? So the purpose of like the orcs in the Valley of Mines is really to protect them and to basically fight off the humans, who are the only real threat for the orcs. It's not like a civilized village or even a city. It's really like an outpost that is here just to fight and like serve a specific purpose.
And they are not here to live, to spend time here and to create a civilization here. They are trapped. And this idea of being a brute warforce, it's something that is present in all the designs. Maybe from the shaman's clothes or even the armors with those spiky metals. I mean, those guys are trapped there. They have no resources, almost no resources. They should take what they can get to live and fulfill the mission. But in terms of big picture, they are not the most advanced part of the orc society.
We wanted to go one step further, and so we decided to develop an own language for the orcs.
Krakahaka, Oko, or Sharchuktsum Urahoto. Hello everyone, my name's David, and I made the orc language for the Gothic remake.
It's a language for orcs, and the language will sound the way you'd imagine an orcish language to sound. So it's pretty gruff, it's aggressive, it's rough, not very mellow or pleasant to the ear. And the sounds I picked for that reflect those characteristics. You've got the trilled R, the R, and you've got the H and the Ch and T. So those are sounds that sound harsh, that kind of punch you in the face. The first thing you decide on when you start making a language is the aesthetics, the look and feel. That starts with the sound inventory, the vowels and consonants and the phonotactics. That means how are syllables and those words put together. So the challenge when creating a language for me is largely in accepting that my creation will never even come close to the true complexity of a natural language. You know, natural languages, they're amazingly complex. They have hundreds of thousands of words and so many layers of grammatical subtleties. Listen, you just can't replicate that. You're not getting close to that no matter what you do.
The Orcish language was my nightmare. I can't roll my R's, so I'd have to figure out a way to kind of make the Orcish language work for myself through practice and hearing it over and over again, and try to do as best a job as I could to kind of repeat what was being, how it was spoken. But yeah, without being able to roll your R's, it made it difficult. There's no two ways about it.
As for the grammar, that kind of was inspired by East Asian languages, Chinese, Thai, Vietnamese. The reason I did that was because in those languages words rarely change shape. That means that you don't have stuff you take for granted in many European languages. Like you don't have articles or grammatical gender or tense or even plurals. And what this does is to keep the words very short, 1 or 2 syllables, very rarely 3. It fits the whole structure quite well. So you're creating a language for a purpose. It might just be the purpose of your own entertainment, but it might, as it is, to provide a bit of world building to help with the immersion.
And our plan is to have more space in the end of the game, give the player more opportunities to do different things. And I think it's a good solution, because what we are doing is not changing the game. We are going not in a long direction, we are going in a wide direction. We are trying to give the player more options to do more quests. Of course, trying to give all the characters their moment to shine. Like, okay, there are a lot of characters that people love. So our focus is more something like this. Like we are going to expand the game and use the characters that exist to close the plot holes that the game could have.
You are thrown to the world. You have 3 different camps with different quests, different characters. You can choose what you want to do, and you find different ways to play the game. Original Gothic decrease this freedom over time when you play the game, and in the final chapters, this is almost a straight line. But this is something that we are working on, so the game has always a different choice or a different path to be taken.
I feel like the old camp was something that was always felt very organic and natural, and there's also different solutions. Within these different solutions, there's obviously some things that also kind of like felt a little empty, so we tried to lean in on that, but it's very much the same. With like New Camp, there were certain things that were touched on in the narrative but were not shown or experienced to the player, so we tried to add one particular element in there. I don't want to spoil it because you should experience it yourself. And then in the Swamp Camp, this is the most difficult one, I think, with regards to the joint camp quests. Because I feel like in general it was all right. It was just the framing wasn't some issues with it, but it's very similar than the original.
For a lot of quests, you have different paths to complete the quest, and the result of the quest will change the world somehow. People will try to go directly to the original result of the quest. Maybe now you have to talk to a new NPC, then pay money to another one, so you receive the answer of the quest. So yeah, we have added a lot of new variations to the original quest.
When I started working for the remake, Kai called me and he asked me if I still can write the way the NPCs talk. And I said to him, I'm not writing the way they talk like I talk. I think that's one of the points. It's all writers from the Gothic games come from pen and paper. Not trying to create some medieval realistic tone We talk like we talk when we play pen and paper. We talk like we talk when we are sitting together in a pub. And I think that's one of the points which makes Gothic so original and also gave it this legendary status.
Well, the daily routines and the world in Gothic were really good. It's difficult to improve that. For example, we added the carry objects, reaction to the weather. We also add something that we call like dynamic events. For example, Valparbes, when he's in the middle of the old camp and start preaching to trying to recruit people for the Swan camp. If a digger listen Valparbes talking, they start doing the current task and they go to listen Valparbes.
So that's something that we now for the remake wanted to make even better, to have more reactions to more situations, even deeper feeling of being in a living world, of being part of a camp where NPCs interact, not only waiting for the player, but interact with each other.
What we are aiming is how the world changes and how the NPCs in the world are witness of the changes. So we are aiming to have this kind of behaviors, like it's not something very scripted, it's something that will happen. The world is alive, so you can be part of the world, walking through the other NPCs and heard how they speak about the news, your behavior, what they expect from the colony and things like that. And for me, something very Gothic. Like you are able to do so many things that you think is difficult because you try to do silly things from the beginning, like fight versus more powerful people or things like that. Our idea is to face the game as it is and keep that. But our idea is to focus for a difficulty for the game and also bring the players the opportunity to change a little bit the difficulty. They want a bigger challenge. That we have a lot of ideas for this.
We have few moments in the story where something big happens, like the sleeper invocation, and we reflect now that in the world, the environment change, daily routines for NPCs change. In the original game, you didn't feel that something happened. Something big had happened and everyone is acting like in the chapter 1, and now they have new routines and new options that reflect that change in the game.
Main story is still the same, so I would say like this is canon. And of course there's deviations. I really wanted that we do this in the way that like has the highest chance that Gothic fans will actually accept it and will feel like, oh, they really thought about this and that. It kind of makes sense.
PlayStation